Welcome back to You Can Do It. Today we're talking about the wonderful second generation of Minis. That's the R56, I think, 55, 57, 58. These are wonderful cars, but they do have a big tendency to burn a lot of oil. So this video is going to be about why these engines burn oil and what we need to do to fix them. So if we pop the bonnet, here we have got the wonderful engine. Now, before I go into all the details about where or how it drinks oil, etc., and what to do to fix it, I need to give you a bit of a background on the actual engine itself. So this is the Prince engine, which is sort of joint venture between BMW and Peugeot, and it is found in the Mini, it's found in Peugeots, and it's found in some Citroëns. So you'll see this engine in lots of different forms and disguises in all those three engines. But in the Mini, we're talking about the N12, the N14, the N16 and the N18. So the N14 and 18 are turbocharged, the Cooper S versions, and the N12 and 16 are the non-turbocharged Mini Cooper or one slightly detuned version of the one. Okay, so these engines were sort of designed to be super green and efficient, green label, which of course usually means there's going to be a lot of problems and unreliability issues. So the problem with this engine is it runs incredibly hot. In order to try and get more of a lean burn and cleaner burn, these engines run at 108 to 115 degrees approximately in normal, when you're normally running. Now when you press the sport button, what that actually does is it drops the temperature down to about 90, which is where most normal petrol and diesel engines are running at a 90-degree temperature. But this only runs at 90 if it's in sport mode, and as soon as you turn sport off, it goes back up to 108 to 115. So personally, I think that's the reason why these Minis do not have a temperature gauge, because if your average Joe Bloggs starts seeing the temperature swinging from 90 to 100 and sometimes up to 117 degrees and then back down again, they'd have a slight panic attack and they'd be stopping off at the dealership and garages, etc. So I think that's why they didn't put a temperature gauge in the Mini, because of the high temperature and also the way it swings when you're going between sport mode and normal mode. So anyway, this engine runs really hot, as I've just said, and it's not good for the rubbers. Now, if you look in BMW, they say that this can use anywhere between a litre of oil for 1,000 kilometres, which is insane. And if you look on the internet, you'll find people with experiences of it using a litre every 300 miles or 300 kilometres even. So this thing absolutely drinks oil, and that's standard from BMW is a litre per 1,000. Well, if you change oil on this every, say, 10,000 miles, then on that situation you'd have replaced 10 litres of oil in that 10,000. So you've basically changed the oil twice, which is ridiculous. Now, these engines can be made good, and they can be made to use no oil at all. So that's what we're going to talk about right now. So the way I'm going to describe the areas of it using oil is we're going to start at the bottom. In the design between BMW and Peugeot, in their wisdom, they try to use some really low friction oil control rings. So that oil control ring, if you've got a piston, you usually have a top ring for compression, second ring for compression, and then the third set of rings, which is usually like very thin rings and a spacer, that is for your oil control. So that basically wipes the cylinders clean of oil every time it goes up and down and stops you burning oil. Well, in the wisdom between BMW and Peugeot, they installed a new type of design of oil control ring, which is basically, excuse my language, is shit and doesn't work and is crap, and is the fundamental reason why these will continue to burn oil regardless of what anyone tells you about the head and everything. You can do whatever you want to that, but your bottom end is burning oil whatever happens. So let's go inside quickly and have a look at the oil control ring they put in this engine and what you need to change it to. Okay, we're inside. This is the original BMW ring, right? This is supposed to be oil control ring. So let's zoom in. Look at that. Now that's not a fault, that's the design. So this is the oil control ring, look. The slits, what BMW design, look. Splits on that side and splits on that side. So when you look, you've got all those, top and bottom. So normally with the ring, you just have one join here. Right, but in effect with this, you've got bloody thousands of joins and it's sort of plastic coated. Okay, so that, my friends, is why it absolutely drinks oil. Because these are probably good for about 1,000 miles and then just start basically using oil. So I'll just show you quickly. Look, the rings that you'd normally put in, say for Marley, look, are these. So these are 2 oil rings and they've got a separator between them. And that separator is what pushes out. But look, it's a completely solid ring. So that rubs against your bore, and once you've honed the bore, that will rub. I've got videos on the channel if you want to look at more details on that, but that will rub in nice and seat in nicely, and then you won't burn oil. So you have 2 of those with a spacer in between it for your oil control ring. So that is the root of the problem at the bottom of the engine. It's not the only problem, but it's the root of the problem at the bottom of the engine. So it doesn't really matter what else you do, you're always going to have these problems. Let's go back to the car and let's look at the other areas where we lose oil. We're back out here again. So we've got the bottom end. You need to put new rings in it. It's the oil control ring. It's not as bad as it sounds. I mean, everyone says, well, that's a big job. But if you're going to do the other work that needs to be done to it, then actually it's not much more of a job to just change your piston rings. Anyway, in doing so, in changing your piston rings, you're going to get yourself, when everything else is done, it's basically a new engine. So, okay, so the next thing we're going to move is to the head. And this is where a lot of people, you know, they say, oh, it's the valve stem seals that are using loads of oil. Now, they do use loads of oil. Now, why do they do that? It's because basically, again, this is running super hot. So you have these cycles of hot, cold, super hot, cold, cold, hot. And what happens there is that those seals on your valves, they just go hard and then they stop functioning properly. And then, of course, what happens is oil is getting down through the valve and the valve guide into the combustion area, and that's where you burn loads of oil. So you've now got the rings where you're burning oil and these seals. Now, a lot of garages will say, yeah, but we can either take the head off and change the seals, or we can actually change the seals without taking the head off or whatever. But let's assume that you change those seals. That is going to be another root cause of burning an awful lot of oil. So you're boiling oil through those seals and through your piston rings. But if you do just these seals and don't do the rings, you're still going to be burning oil. Not as bad, but you're still going to be burning oil. So you might as well do the whole lot. And if you're going to do those seals, my advice is you take your head right off, and then you can replace the seals properly and also relap the valves, because the valves will be pitted, and clean the head up and decoke it all. And then you'll basically have a new clean head to go back on again. And of course, with those rings and everything, it will be burning new rings. You'll be burning less oil anyway. So you're going to be burning it through your valve stem seals, which again is really a head off. You've got seals in here sealing this to the head and your oil pump now, and also your oil cooler. Now, the engine, as I said, gets hot, cold, and those seals do degenerate and they'll start leaking, but you won't use hardly any oil. I mean, you might get drips on your garage, but you won't be using any considerable amount of oil like that. It'd just be unsightly and messy, but that isn't the route. So if you see oil dripping from any of these, that's fine, but that's not the main reason that you're using copious amounts of oil. Now, the other main reason for using oil is this design of this cam cover, which is a positive crankcase ventilation type system. So you have a lot of blowback through those rings, and you get a lot of high pressure in here. Right now, if you didn't get rid of that high pressure, that pressure would then be pushing more oil down through those valve stem seals into your inlets and exhausts, and you'll be losing even more fuel. So what they do is they've taken a suction from here, which generally goes down, we'll come to that bit in a minute, goes down into your inlet manifold. So you've got constant negative pressure sucking all that positive pressure in here out. And then the way they've designed it is that you have a valve here and a valve here. So when you've got negative pressure here, i.e. the turbo's not spooled up and you're just running at a constant speed or just tick over, you've got massive suction here. So you have a valve that turns off there, and so it's just sucking all that positive pressure out of there. So in other words, you've got a vacuum in here, right? Well, that vacuum alone, because you've got hot oil vapor in there, that vacuum alone can start sucking out oil vapors and oil back down into your inlet manifold, and you burn it that way. All right, now what happens when you put your foot down and your turbo spools up and there's a positive pressure here, and you're supposed to be sucking out of here, aren't you? But you've now got positive pressure, so that just makes the whole situation worse. So what they do then is they close it, automatically closes that valve off, and then this valve opens. So again, you're sucking sucking air out directly into your turbo. Okay, So you've got a system here with these valves, and they should never both be open at the same time. Now what happens is if that valve's stuck open, or this valve's stuck open, then you'll get all sorts of faults, like a non-metered air fault, but you'll be sucking oil out all the time here, and then when there's positive pressure, you're pushing out. So again, cam cover is faulty, you will use a lot of oil, and it's basically been burnt indirectly because it's been sucked out from there and back down. So what I've done on this to counteract the problem, and we've put all new rings in. I mean, this doesn't burn any oil, but because we fixed it all up. But what I have done is I've put a catch can in here, so any oil vapor in there, when you have the suction, that oil vapor goes in here, the oil condenses, and then there's only air with no oil in it goes into the engine. So I'm not burning oil, but it will tend to suck up oil vapor. So you have to empty your can. You get oil and water condensation, especially in winter when it's really cold. You get a bit of water condensation when the engine is cold, and that sucks that in there. But that is a well recommended addition, is to put a catch can there. Now you can put a catch can here on this side, but I've generally find the one that you really need it in on that side. But you can also put a catch can on that side. So you've got your rings down the bottom. You've got your valve stem steels here, and you got this cam cover, which are the three main areas that you will drink the oil. And that's where you're drinking litres of oil per 1,000 miles or whatever. You can, of course, leak a bit of oil with your turbo seal, and like I said, these other little seals down here, but that'll be minimal. I mean, you won't be anything like this sort of litre per 1,000 kilometres or miles. So they are your three main areas that you need to sort out. So how do you fix it? You've got to take the top off. And then when you've got your top off, to actually take your pistons out, it's just dropping the sump, take the oil pump off, and then you can push the pistons out the top, change the rings. You then need to just deglaze your bores, hone your bores, put your new rings in, and oil control rings, put your pistons back in, and then you service your head by putting new valve stem seals in it, relapping the valves, cleaning that all out, put that back down in together, and then make sure you've got a working cam cover. If it's not working properly, buy yourself a new genuine one, or from a reputable aftermarket. Don't buy the cheap ones off eBay because they don't work. And then if you want to do the whole hog, put yourself some catch can, a catch can or two catch cans, and this engine then will purr like a kitten and won't use any oil, and run nice. Now this is done 15,000 miles since we did a full engine rebuild. Of course, all those videos are on the channel. I've still got a few to load up, but most of them are on the channel now. You can refresh that engine. So that's what engine refresh is basically. And in the process of doing that, we replaced the water feed pipe from the pump to the thermostat and all those sort of things, which you need to do on these engines. And then you're going to get a reliable engine, because if you sort all those problems out, but if you try and do it piecemeal, you'll be forever pulling your hair out, because the engine will be down for this problem and that problem. So when we refreshed this, we basically put new clutch, flywheel, thermostat, link pipe, water pump, new timing chain and everything, service the oil pump, new chains, new vacuum pump, I've got a video out on there how to service your high pressure fuel pump. This turbo was already pretty new, so this runs really nicely now, no problem. I say 15,000 miles, not a single problem, hasn't burnt any oil, and it's a real pleasure. And these Minis they are beautiful cars and great fun, but only if they're reliable. And if you've got one of these now, they'll probably have 100,000 miles on it. Just get that engine and do a full refresh, and then you've got a lovely car. So I hope this video's helped people. It gives you a background about the Mini. I couldn't find anything like this for myself when I bought this first Mini, and I needed to know roughly what I needed to do, and you sort of now know what you need to do to stop that oil consumption. You can do just the head if you want, but you'll still be burning oil. My advice, especially now as these cars are getting on a bit, is to do a full engine refresh, and then you've got a good car. Hope this has been helpful. If you like the channel, please subscribe, send me a comment, give me a like. It really helps the algorithm, and hope to see you on the next video. And most importantly, just remember, you can do it.